So I did a whole lot of shooting over the last couple days. Did a total of 200 rounds of 6BR, 100 rounds of Berger 105 grain VLD targets, and 100 rounds of Hornady match 105 grain. So they're both hollow point boat tails, both very, very similar. I was hoping to come up with some very, very conclusive evidence to suggest that the Bergers are worth the extra money. But after I shot all these 5-shot groups, 20 each, I added everything up. Everything is loaded 20 thousandths of an inch off the lands, both of them. So the bullet shape is slightly different. So the seating depth is slightly different, but they're both 20 thou off the lands. And here's what we got. Standard deviation for the Hornadys is 7.9 feet per second across 100 rounds with an extreme spread of 23. That's pretty good. Mind you, this is all zero fire brass. This is all brand new alpha brass. All of it has been full length bushing sized with Reading competition seating dies and mandreled with 21st century mandrels. So I got about 2 thousandths of an inch neck tension. The Bergers, there was one or two in here that I was tempted to not include them because they were just weird. On average, they're right around 2,800 feet per second, 5 or 6 feet below that, 5 or 6 feet above it. But there's one or two in there that made the ES really wide. So the ES on the Bergers is 31 feet per second with a standard deviation of 8.13. So they're pretty close, within 2 feet per second of each other. 100 rounds each is still kind of a small sample size, but at least it gives me something. On average, the Bergers shoot about 10 feet per second faster. I apologize, my allergies are killing me. This is the best I've felt in a couple days though. And then we get into group sizes. Well, velocity's good, low SDs is good, but what about group sizes? It's interesting because I had good days and bad days. I went on 2 different days, and one group with the Hornadys at 200 yards was 2.18 inches. That's a little over 1 MOA, which was kind of surprising. And then the very next group that I shot with 5 more of that exact same ammo was 1.2. And that group that's 2.18 has a lot of left and right in it between two extremes. And that could have been me. The Bergers that day shot nearly identical, 0.98 and 1.04, and mind you, that's at 200 yards. The next day, I went out and shot 200 yards, and I was doing much, much better. This time, they were very, very consistent. At least the Hornadys were. 1.15 and 1.13. I believe I've got footage of these being shot. I'm not sure. But then the Bergers, somehow, I wound up getting a 1.33 and a 1.54. It actually shot worse than the day before. So the second day the Hornady shot better, the second day the Bergers shot worse. I didn't want to just try everything at 100 yards, but it's interesting. I always say I'm not the best shot in the world. I don't claim to be the best. This is a whole bunch of groups. I alternated. I did a 5-shot group of Bergers, then a 5-shot of Hornady. 5 shots Berger, 5 shots Hornady, back and forth. And there's a trend that I see happening, and it happens with me all the time. 4 shots and a flyer. 4 shots and a flyer. Same with the Hornadys. 4 shots and a flyer. 4 shots and a flyer. And it continues on and on and on and on. This is 3 shots and 2 flyers. 4 shots and a flyer. 4 shots and a flyer. One fairly decent group, but these are both 0.49 inches. One's kind of scattered and one's 4 shots and a flyer. At the end of the day, the question is which one averages out better. And believe it or not, with the luck that I just happened to have with what I was doing, the average group size at 100 yards for the Hornadys was 0.554 inches. Right about a half MOA. The average for the Bergers 0.533. So the Bergers, I got just that much more performance out of. For me shooting all these rounds, I was able to eke out 0.010 of an inch tighter average group out of the Bergers versus the Hornadys. So I think I'm actually now inclined to try some other bullets. Instead of ordering more Hornadys and keep going, I'm going to see if I can get some Sierra Match Kings. I have good luck with those in my Creedmoor load. I might try some other brands that I've never tried before just to see how they stack up and do 100 of those and see how it comes out. 200-yard averages. Hornadys 1.415. Bergers 1.22. So the Bergers are more accurate for the experience that I just had. Now, everything I did was consistent across the board. So the short answer out of all this is, are the Bergers better? They are. I'm not sure they're worth the difference in cost for me. But I will try some other ones because I like to tinker.